Safi and Marco dish out on the movies, but today we're reviewing a book called Young Scrooge, and it is by R.L. Stine, and it's a Christmas book, and we decided it would be nice to do an R.L. Stine Christmas book because Marco has been reviewing all of the original Goosebumps books, so we thought it would be nice to do this.
Well, let's just talk about this crappy book.
Well, when was it published?
2016,
Okay.
sometime. Let's talk about this crap. Look, it's hard to do videos like this with glasses because things always reflect on the surfaces of glasses, and so and then you can't even see the person's eyes, which is bad. And
Well,
Safi just looks like a mutant already. So, but this book, it's supposedly a parody of A Christmas Carol, and all I have to say is why, because there's nothing in this book that was necessary. Like, it's pretty entertaining at first in like a dark comedy type of way. It's entertaining because you have this kid and he hates Christmas, and he has a lot of reasons that he should hate Christmas. Like, his birthday's on Christmas, and for some reason it's not separated from Christmas, it's combined. He doesn't get equal presents for both, he just gets Christmas presents.
well, it's on Christmas Day.
Well, I mean, what a shitty thing that is, the fact that they ruin his birthday like that. Ugh.
And Marco has a little bit of experience with having Christmas near his birthday because his birthday was December 19th. At least it's not on the 25th. But I've heard similar problems from other kids and older people who have complained that their birthday is really near Christmas and they didn't separate it. And so that is a very real thing that kids growing up, they don't like because there's no separation. They get one kind of present, that's a Christmas present, and that's it. And not that they need a lot of things, it's just that everybody else has a birthday, they get a present or two. Everybody else has Christmas in addition and get another present or two.
Everyone has a cake too, and he gets his cake on Christmas, which is hilarious because at the end of the book, spoiler alert, if you really care about spoilers with Young Scrooge, spoiler, and I got it as a birthday present too, which, Safi?
I don't know, I got it a few years ago. I thought it would be interesting to have, well, I thought it would be a pretty good book. I had no idea.
It started off pretty good with the dark comedy.
I didn't know what it was about or anything, but I imagine because it says Scrooge that it has something to do with the Christmas Carol. Modern.
I thought it was really funny at first, the way that he was playing all these pranks on kids, and I thought it was really funny and really entertaining in like a dark comedy type of way. And I thought, oh, this is going to be a unique take on the story. But then no, of course not. It becomes this really weak anti-bullying PSA book, and that's basically all it is. Like, it's all about, oh, you're a bully, you need to stop being a bully. And all I could think of the whole shitty ass book, this repetitive wimpy book, because that's another thing too, Safi. This book was wimpy. It was wimpy and weak, like you. and it really suffers because for the Christmas past, he goes to this 1800s school or something, and he gets thrown in a pig trough, and that's his punishment for back then.
Well, he wanted to go home, and he thought it was and they were being honest with him, and it was a magical way to get back to his home in the present. And it was dark, and he couldn't see. They let him in there, and then it was the way pigs were kept back in the old days. It was all muddy and gross, and everything gross was out there inside this barn, and he fell in it, and he stunk up to high heaven.
And that's just, I mean, that's it. That's all.
Well, if it wasn't
all?
for the good graces of the farmer and his wife, she cleaned his clothes and they fed him, and they
Yeah.
gave him a clean, I don't know what you call it, a nightshirt or whatever.
Clean underwear.
Clean underwear, I don't know, but that was, that was some kindness they were showing. They didn't know this kid.
Clean 1800s underwear.
And he's wearing sneakers, Air Jordans, okay?
And these kids are so retarded that they can't see that he's from the future. I mean, it's not real time travel, it's just an illusion. But still, isn't that kind of stupid that he's wearing all these modern clothes for that time period, and these kids from back then are like, oh, this is totally normal, who cares?
Well, the difference between this book and the original Christmas Carol was that
Is that the original one sucks, and this one is, I mean, the original one is good, and this one sucks. That's the difference.
The thing is, though, Scrooge isn't part of what's going on. He's just looking, because it's his past. This wasn't this boy's past. This boy's 12, right? So his past is very limited. Scrooge was, I don't know how old he was supposed to be, but he was a lot older than 12.
69.
Oh, 69. Well, there you go. I don't know either. And he had a little bit of a past, a present, and of course the future. No matter what, if he was good or bad, he isn't going to live forever, okay? But anyway,
neither is R.L. Stine, so why is he wasting his time writing this bullshit?
I don't know. Maybe they asked him to do it.
It was his idea.
Oh, it was his idea. Well, I don't know.
And let's be honest, Safi, this is awful. This book was awful. The whole book, I was sitting there like, why are they bullying this 12-year-old kid? Why are these ghosts like terrorizing this kid when they could be terrorizing someone like Jeffrey Epstein, who was still perfectly alive and running around doing whatever he wanted in 2016? Why weren't the ghosts haunting someone like Jeffrey Epstein? Instead, they're haunting this kid who has a shitty birthday.
I know R.L. Stine because we know we went to the bins, the Goodwill bins, that he wrote some adult books, but I don't know how good or popular they were.
Let's not talk about that one, Safi.
And, if he wanted to write something about Jeffrey Epstein, I don't know. I don't even know if he would have heard of him.
But Safi, another huge flaw is that he picks this really sympathetic character to give this horrible night to.
I don't think it was so sympathetic.
He wasn't really a bully at all.
He was a prankster.
He was a prankster.
And they really, you read about real people who were pranksters. They'll talk about, oh yeah, so-and-so was a prankster when we were in school. Even people who do movies or TV shows, and they'll say, oh yeah, that actor, he or she was a prankster, and they did all these, it's logging up. Okay, well, anyway, and so there wasn't any distinction between being a prankster. I guess he was hovering over the line.
Being a bully means you're making it personal.
Well, he did make it personal. One of them was a stutterer.
Yeah, and that was hilarious, Safi. There was a person in our school who stuttered, and it was it was fucking hilarious. That Shadow kid, when he's like,
Shadow was a stutterer.
Yeah, he could barely speak. He was like, I'm going to do my assignment.
Well, some people, I don't think Marco understands. Some people are miserable.
Oh, it was fucking hilarious, and these kids are acting like he's fucking assaulting them or something. I mean, it is ridiculous the way that they treat the main character in this book. This 12-year-old kid, you have this dipshit principal, and he shows him this hilarious comedy this video where all these kids are getting bullied, and it's just a movie, it's just a fake thing,
Yeah.
And the principal's literally just standing over him, wondering what his reaction is. I mean, that's terrible guidance. But what I thought too was that R.L. Stine, if he wanted to write a Christmas Carol type of story, why wouldn't he write one about a character he's already created?
Marco has somebody in mind, and
I think people know that. People know that. I'm just about to say that.
Well, the thing is, the way he's described the person to me, they're a lot more deserving. And I think another thing Marco may be speaking to is that it's very hard to fathom three ghosts who, this is an important thing.
So it was more than three ghosts.
Visiting a kid.
It was a robot. It was a whole school full of zombies. It was some poor family that sold his presents, fed him fucking plum on Christmas.
Ate plum.
A plum and grapes. Ew, nobody wants to eat that.
A plum for dinner and grapes for dessert.
How about a piece of bologna?
And, well, that...
Oh, is that too expensive? Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Can't they afford a piece of bologna? Or is that too realistic for R.L. Stine's fantasy world? Okay, because the thing is, now I wanted to say which character I was talking about before Safi rudely bullied me and interrupted me earlier. Because see, that's what they literally consider bullying in this book, to where this kid deserves to be terrorized for an entire night. If you guys don't remember, Cuckoo Clock of Doom, the little sister, Tara, she's the devil, and she deserves it wholeheartedly to get a night of terror, because she was so bad, then he nicknamed her Tara the Terrible. And she was based on, R.L. Stine was at a book signing, and this little girl came up to him and said, I want you to write a character after me, and my name is Tara, and make me really, really evil.
Wow.
And he went over the top and made her the most evil character in Goosebumps history, I would say. Like one of the top 5 villains in the whole series, which is saying something. And she deserves it. She would deserve all the Christmas Carol horror that she gets. So why he didn't do that completely boggles my mind. I mean, she is the prime target. If you had to pick one character in the whole Goosebumps library, who would you pick to change and give them a Christmas Carol night? Tara.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And there's this really special thing that happens at the end of the second book where she gets erased from history. Yeah. And that would be a perfect opportunity for her to be sent to a ghost world, to be an explanation for why she gets terrorized, because she's sent to a ghost world. She's non-existent. She doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So don't you agree with that, Safi? I mean...
Yeah, I do agree. And this book was this whole made-up thing with, which I thought was odd. They called him Rick Scroogeman. His name is Scroogeman.
Yeah.
And then all the characters in the book that were like people who are in his classes, they all are named after a Charles Dickens character.
Yeah, that was really bad.
And I'm like, really?
That was cringeworthy.
I didn't like that, because if he's trying to make it modern, why would he do that? They didn't do that in A Christmas Carol. You know, that it was people's, just their names.
Yeah, that would be like in the original Christmas Carol, if instead of Ebenezer Scrooge, he would be called Rick Richman or something. Like Rick Rich Man.
Well, they wouldn't have that because they didn't know the name Rick.
But
they would say
the thing
Richard.
The thing is, too, is that Charles Dickens would have been the first one to tell R.L. Stine not to name his characters after the characters from his story. Why, Safi? Because, remember that movie? How did he come up with character names? Remember? He would go... Safi doesn't remember. He would go around places and just talk to people. He would go to restaurants Remember there was that one waiter who was David Copperfield, and he's like, ooh, that's a good name. That's how he would come up with unique names. So in this case, R.L. Stine should have followed his footsteps if he's trying to be so true to his visions, and then come up and find some unique names. Like, come on.
Yeah, I that is one thing I really didn't like. And the thing is, how they started the book was that, well, they have all this, quote, bullying and, what do you call it, prankstering.
Teasing.
And, no, it was a little bit heavy sometimes.
It wasn't
on
that
the
bad.
teasing. Well, I just
I mean,
disagree.
at the end of it, they act like it's perfectly okay as long as he gives them presents and shit.
Yeah, that's what, there's so many little parts that are kind of like, you have a potato and you have some rotten pieces or dark spots. Each of those like errors is like a dark spot in a potato.
Yeah, all the Wendy's fries have lots of dark spots now, by the way, which really pisses me off.
So anyway,
what would you rate this book, Safi, on a scale of F to A? I would give it a C
I just give it
minus.
a C. I just give it a C because it was entertaining, and what I was going to say at the beginning, they had a ghost visit him, but he was at the wrong house. He was supposed to go to an adult's house across the street. And so you think, well, okay, that might have like jolted him into thinking, well, this is a real thing, ghost visiting somebody on Christmas Eve. And so then immediately after is when a ghost comes and says, I've come for you. And then we have this whole thing.
Hey, little kid, I'm here for you.
A past, a present, and a future. And
totally.
The future was a robot, which is different.
That was the worst part of the book.
And they said
that
the
whole
future. They
future
meant
thing.
the future.
And
like coming.
You know what else was trash?
Future.
R.L. Stine was obsessed with some ghost with a checkered suit and shit. He was obsessed with that character. Obsessed. He was like, every time he comes on, the man with the checkered suit comes on. It's like F off. Like, this character sucks. Just because you put him in a checkered suit means you think you're doing something interesting? I don't think so. And then you make the future ghost. Look, this character, this creepy, cool character that they have on the cover, it looks like a Harry Potter Dementor.
Right.
They make that a robot. What a stupid decision that was.
And I was thinking robot. I was thinking something metallic looking.
Yeah.
That was like bars or something.
Oh no, Safi, it's this. And this isn't even, this never happens in the book. There is never a ghost like this that confronts him in front of a Christmas house with all these Christmas lights, and then a light is shining. This never happens in the book. That's what you call false advertising. You have a lot to answer for, Wimpy Stine.
Well, no, he doesn't. I don't know if he would have picked the cover or what was on. Well, it just depends on the publisher. They don't all have their own say on what's going to go on, who does the illustrations, and what it's going to be. Sometimes they get to pick, but not all the time.
Safi, you started bullying me when I was talking about this kid. You were like, Marco, he steps on kids' toes and tells them he's going to make them dance. It's like, who cares? Like, fucking Jeffrey Epstein raped girls. Fucking Safi, I think that one is worse than the other. The original Scrooge and the original Christmas Carol, he put people in orphanage. He put people in workhouses. I think that what those people did is a lot worse than what this little prankster's doing in school.
I don't know. The only thing I could think of is they were trying to stop him in his tracks so he wouldn't get any worse than he was. Because he's still at the very end. You remember, he's still did something at the very end that would make him like, well, this isn't anything.
Oh, Safi, I don't know what it was. That's such a great idea. let's just stop people before they even commit crimes or before they even do anything wrong, because that's totally how society should work. I don't think so, Safi.
Well, I don't know.
Fuck
I
off
don't
with that
know.
shit.
I don't like all that swearing.
Well, I didn't like this book. 185 pages of trash.
Well, that's too bad, because you read it and I read it.
I listened to it.
I actually read it because I listen to books all the time. I could read like 3 books a week, which I've done now, 2 to 3 books a week for months now, on Hoopla, which is a library book site. So,
guys, just think, there is a little boy down the street from Rich Scroogeman, and this little boy has killed his parents, set his house on fire, killed his parents, and these stupid ass ghosts think that it's priority to terrorize and haunt some random kid who's pranking kids at school. Like, wow.
So that's your complaint, really, is that they are not, he could have written about somebody a lot worse. You even suggested a former character that
Tara.
he had written about,
Yeah.
which sounds like a great idea. It really does. And he would know the family. He would know the whole background of the story. He wouldn't have to be making up something new. He would already know it. Or something a lot worse that a kid might do. I just think it's difficult anyway to be writing about any kids.
Well, that's the least of this book's problems. Let's just throw that problem out the window.
Yeah.
This book was repetitive. You just said, yeah. This book is repetitive. It's wimpy. It's rushed. Like that whole 1800s deal. That's like 1 chapter, basically. And then they spend like 12 chapters when he's with the poor family.
Yeah.
And then they spend like 1 chapter he's in a zombie school. Like, really.
All the stuff. There was a lot in that last
Yeah,
part
a lot of nonsense.
for the Christmas future, and it really wasn't. It didn't come off well because it just didn't make a lot of sense. There's just too many.
Yeah.
It was almost like they tried to make spaghetti with beef stew, and it's just like, ew.
Yeah, more like spaghetti with bullshit stew. Okay, Safi. So what should people do?
Okay, well, you guys, if you like this video, please press the like button. And we always welcome new subscribers. And you are welcome to comment. Did you read this book? Would you consider reading this book? You know, as an adult, which we both are, it is kind of hard, I think, to go back and read. But I do enjoy looking at children's books.
What are you talking about?
And this
It's
is
hard
a young.
to read.
It's hard to read in that it's just you're not interested in it.
No, that's
It's
not
not-
the issue at all, Safi.
Well, it is for me.
No.
And it is a young adult book, and I really do enjoy looking at children's books and young adult books. So.
Safi, you literally watch people on YouTube who are kids.
They're millennials like
Yeah,
you.
you literally watch kids on YouTube
They're
on a
not
daily
kids.
basis. They're
I wouldn't
kids.
They wouldn't call themselves kids when a few of them are making $60,000 a year doing their reselling.
Well, that's how you watch, Safi. So lay off with that, okay?
Now, Marco.
Lay off with
So
that.
anyway, we hope you want to subscribe.
Goodbye, everybody.